Now on CoastTV News.
It's a code red first alert Monday evening for Delmarva. Severe weather is possible. I'll talk impacts and timing coming up.
Road rules. We look at what is being reviewed in Lewis ahead of a public hearing over construction of a townhouse development.
Assessment anxiety. It is happening in Sussex County with the deadline to appeal the latest property reassessment happening today.
Back at the park. Both the Phillies and Orioles have their 2025 home debuts this afternoon.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And it is Monday, March 31st, 2025. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us for our 5 o'clock hour.
We are on the final day of March.
That's
I think
crazy.
That's exciting news right there.
It's exciting, but I feel like March, it just went like that.
But that's a good thing.
It is a good thing, and I mean, this weekend, it was beautiful.
It was fantastic.
Did
Bob,
you clean off your grill?
I cleaned it. I
Very
cleaned
nice.
it on Saturday.
You're ready to go.
Gunk and grime.
Oh, nice.
It's all clean.
That's good to know.
Bob.
All right, so we're starting with gunky grime, but no, it was a beautiful weekend. I saw a lot of folks out and about. Big smiles with those temperatures into the 70s, but it is a code red for severe weather possibly later this evening, but we're good now through most of the day. It's mild, 64 in Salisbury and Georgetown, 65 in Delmar, so all you need is a windbreaker out the door. 55 at Ocean City, 63 at Bethany Beach. As we're looking at gusty southwest winds now up to 30 miles per hour in Salisbury, gusting to 20 in Ocean City. So it's going to be a breezy and mild day. We are looking at mostly cloudy skies, and there are some showers on the eastern shore from Cambridge up to Rootsburg over to Annapolis too. These are not severe, just run-of-the-mill showers that are coming through this morning, so have the umbrella handy. The main event is farther back to the west with the cold front. You see this line of showers and storms from Tennessee into western PA. As they move into that warmer air this afternoon, and with that cold front and dynamics, we do have that threat for severe weather. We do have that level 2 or slight risk all across our area, and enhanced risk into the Piedmont of North Carolina. They have a better chance of tornadoes, I think, for us, damaging winds, maybe an isolated tornado, much more on that coming up. But it's breezy and mild today, in and out of the clouds, and temperatures by noon into the mid 70s, cooler 60s at the coast. And those winds gusty, and then we're into the upper 70s by 3 p.m., maybe an 80-degree reading possible, cooler at the coast. And then this evening, we have to be vigilant for that severe weather threat, I think, after about 8 p.m., and then that severe threat as we go through the evening and overnight. But it's quiet and breezy throughout the day. Much more on the code red, the impacts, and the timing of this system coming up a little bit later on.
All right, thank you, Bob. And our top story this hour, momentum appears to be on the side of a proposed townhouse development in Lewis. The project for Savannah Road is being called Overfall Preserve, and we're expecting to have 25 recommendations from the city's planning commission be reviewed tonight. There is some question over whether a traffic study is needed. In January, Morris James LLP said the amount of traffic from the new homes would not be enough to warrant a study. And we shall learn more about that at the public meeting scheduled for 5:30 p.m.
As we now get a live look at Lewis, we are going to take a deeper dive into the traffic on Savannah Road, which is one of the main roads that leads to the heart of the city. And the city is considering paying for a study with DelDOT beyond Overfall Preserve to look at safety issues on Savannah Road.
As CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, while businesses have been affected by one of the parking bans, cyclists and drivers in Lewis think it's a good idea.
Savannah Road in Lewis. Here's what local Anna Denny thinks of it.
There's a lot more bikers than there used to be, you know, and just tremendous amount of traffic.
The city now wants to team up with DelDOT to study safety on the road. Denny thinks it's a good idea.
Something needs to be done. I don't know what it is, but something they need to investigate and find out.
Back in January, the city passed an ordinance to ban parking on part of Savannah Road due to bike safety. But the city says the study wouldn't just be about parking. As a cyclist in Lewis, Joseph Kehoe says he tries to avoid Savannah Road.
They talk about being a bike town, but it's really restricted to the bikers.
The city says the study could also extend to Dutchman's Harvest and Overfall Preserve. For now, the discussion continues over safety on Savannah. In Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Happening today, an important deadline is here for homeowners in Sussex County. Property value reassessment is finishing up across the county, and today is the last day to appeal your newly reassessed values. We spoke with homeowners in Laurel about the process, which drew some mixed opinions.
I think the appeal process could be, it's murky at best. The letter I got, like I said, it was pretty much good luck getting us changed.
I'm sure that the appeal process will work very, very well. Yeah, very honestly, I think the county is doing very well.
And it's important to note, according to the county, that whole process can be done online.
Starting today, students in the Indian River School District will be spending a little extra time in class. The district is adding 20 minutes to each school day. This is to make up for time lost to bad weather. The school day will be extended until the end of the academic year.
This just in, updated security rules for the Chincoteague Pony Swim. The town is announcing rules ahead of the 100th anniversary. According to Chincoteague, coolers, umbrellas, and glass containers are no longer allowed at that event. Bags and backpacks are also banned unless they are clear, and the Chincoteague Pony Swim takes place July 30th.
This afternoon, the boys are back in town. The Phillies will play their first home game of the 2025 season at the park in South Philly. It's always a special day on the sports calendar. All the pomp and circumstance and the fanatic, the defending National League East champs. They bring a 2-1 record after playing in Washington over the weekend. First pitch is set for 3:05 against the Rockies. And about 30 minutes earlier, about 2 hours south on Interstate 95, the Orioles will play their first game of the season at Camden Yards. Red Sox are in Crabtown to take on the Birds. Baltimore attempting to take that big step in the postseason after some early exits in the past 2 years.
The death toll following Friday's massive earthquake in the Asia country of Myanmar continues to rise. You can see devastating damage right here on your screen, and that number stands at more than 1,600 following that 7.5 magnitude quake that caused numerous buildings to collapse. Rescue workers are still digging through debris, looking for more victims and survivors.
Well, taking a live look at Washington, D.C., President Trump says he is expressing frustration over the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. And over the weekend, the president voiced anger with Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling NBC News on a phone interview that he was, quote, very angry and ticked off at Putin for criticizing the credibility of Ukrainian President Zelensky's leadership. Ceasefire talks have been in progress for months. And despite the conflict, President Trump is staying optimistic on an impending deal.
I think we're making a lot of progress on Ukraine and Russia. There's always conflict, but I think we're making a lot of progress getting it stopped.
Amid his frustration, the president is now threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil.
And we are just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, coastal cleanup. A group called Beach Heroes is back. They have plans this spring for the town.
Also coming up, Ocean City officials set to review budget proposals for fiscal year 2026. We'll tell you how a boost to one department could impact visitors in the coastal town.
And dialing back discounts when some AT&T customers could have to pay more for service. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
5:10 on our column Monday morning. Could get stormy as we go into this evening. Bay Health, Cam and Dover, 66, and it's breezy as well. Look how mild it is, mid-60s from Salisbury up to Milton, even at the beaches, 63 in Rehoboth and Bethany Beach now. And the winds are gusty, at times gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour, but it is a warm breeze. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies. We are seeing some showers. These are not severe, just run-of-the-mill showers across the eastern shore, back through Annapolis and near the I-95 corridor. So have the umbrella handy for some of those as we're watching the main front back to our west, and that's what could spark the severe weather for this evening. Here's our drive cast. I did get the yellow light on the way to work and school this morning, and make sure you have the umbrella for a few showers. We're okay with the p.m. commute through 4 to 6 p.m. I gave it the green light, but then after about 8 o'clock, that's when things go downhill to potential severe weather. Much more on that coming up a little bit later on.
Today in Greenwood, DelDOT is expected to put in lane closures. This would be for Market Street. They say the Delmarva Central Railroad Company needs this to complete maintenance on the railroad crossing in that area. The closures are set to begin at 7 a.m. today and work expected to be completed by April 7th at 5 p.m.
Students in Delmar won't be in class today. According to the district, teachers will spend today catching up on grading. Students will return to class tomorrow.
A similar situation in Seaford. Their students able to sleep in again this morning. According to the district's Facebook page, today is an in-service day, meaning no school for students. The district says classes will resume Tuesday, April 1st. No fooling there.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook is going OG Facebook with a revamped Friends tab. Under the tab, your feed will only show posts from friends and family with no recommended content. The new Friends tab replaces one of that showed new friend requests for people you may know, and the new tab is available in U.S. and Canada. Zuckerberg says more OG Facebook features are coming soon.
Some AT&T customers will be paying a little more for service. The carrier announced it will soon trim its monthly auto pay discount starting April 24th. That rebate will go down to $5, half of what it was before. There's an exception. The $10 rebate will remain for customers enrolled with a bank account.
We're starting out breezy and mild. Here's our live Gateway Subaru cam in Ocean City, 55 degrees. It's going to be a quiet day, but then the nighttime comes, and then there's a threat for severe weather tonight with the code red. I'll talk about impacts and time it out on Futurecast and all the hazards potentially with this system coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Time is 5:15, and you're looking live at the waves hitting the beach there in Ocean City. We have home openers in baseball today, Bob. Philadelphia and Baltimore, and I know there's some people on Delmarva that are traveling to at least one of those cities for those games.
Yes, and we have to worry about the storms maybe for the end of the game in Baltimore. They have the home opener there at 2:35 at Camden Yards. Beautiful ballpark. I've never been there before, but it is gorgeous. We've got the Red Sox coming to town, and first pitch is at 2:35. We're okay through about 4 p.m. It's going to be warm, up close to 80 degrees, so have the water and the sunscreen. Then we could bring the storms in as soon as 5 p.m. So maybe towards the end of the game, it could get stormy, and then increasing storminess through the evening hours. Definitely could be severe weather in Baltimore early this evening, and then that moves our way. As we do have a code red for later on this evening for that threat for severe weather. That comes in tonight with the main threat being damaging winds. And then for Tuesday, it's sunny, it's cooler, and it's highs in the 50s. I think by Wednesday morning, we could be into the 30s, but we're well above that right now. 64 in Salisbury, Seaford 65, Milton 63, the same for Bethany Beach and Rehoboth, and 57 in Ocean City. And the winds are getting gusting to 30 miles per hour in Salisbury, 20 in Ocean City. This is a warm breeze coming out of the southwest, and that will warm us up even more today. We were in the 70s, close to 80 over the weekend. I think we'll do it again today. Now we're looking at clouds this morning, even a few showers from Easton, a good part of the eastern shore. These are just run-of-the-mill showers. It says nothing severe, but make sure you have your umbrella as these showers extend down into eastern Virginia, and they'll be making their way east as we go through the next hour or two. It's farther to the west from western PA down through the Tennessee Valley. You see a line of showers here. This is a strong cold front back a little bit farther to the west, and that will clash with some dynamics and then the heating of the day later today and this evening and give us that threat for severe weather. Thankfully, the storms are coming in after the peak heating, so that's definitely a blessing in disguise. So this morning we have a few showers. Then I think we'll see a mix of sun and clouds, very breezy and mild, mid to upper 70s inland by 3:30, 60s at the coast. Then we move into this evening. I think we're okay around the dinner hour. And then after about 8 or 9 o'clock, we start to see the heavier showers building in, heavy rain, maybe some local flooding. Now, we do have drought conditions. I think the ground will be receptive to the rain, but some of that rain will come down pretty hard around the midnight hour. Gusty winds maybe in excess of 60 miles per hour. Keep that in mind. And we can't rule out a spin-up tornado, an isolated tornado as well. And then that activity ending around 2 a.m. It's chilly tomorrow morning into the 40s and a much cooler day, but lots of sunshine on Tuesday with temperatures into the 50s. Here's our storm risk. We're all under a level 2 or a slight risk of seeing severe weather from about 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. tonight. There's a low chance of tornadoes, an isolated chance. You always have to keep that in mind. A low chance of hail, but it looks like a moderate to high chance of winds up to 60 miles per hour, maybe more, and maybe some isolated flooding, especially in poor drainage areas. We need the rain, but not all at once. We could see a ½ inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch of rain, maybe an inch or so under some heavier thunderstorms, and gusty winds today too, over 30 miles per hour as we go into the afternoon. Definitely gustier around those storms in that cold front this evening, and then those winds shifting to the northwest tomorrow. It's a chilly breeze weeks. Despite sunshine, those gusts over 20 miles per hour. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. We've got the PM alert for the severe weather, and you just saw the QR code on your screen too. Make sure you scan that and download the Coast TV weather app. Important to have that this evening. Drier and cooler Tuesday and Wednesday with upper 50s. 38 Wednesday morning, maybe a touch of frost. We'll watch that. But then warmer by the end of the week, upper 70s Thursday into Friday. Maybe another shower chance Friday. Looks a little unsettled for the weekend. 64 showers Saturday, but then 73, a little more rain on Sunday. Umbrella giveaway winner today is Gary Beauchamp from Laurel. Congratulations to Gary, and good timing on winning an umbrella courtesy of Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Hit Indiana over the weekend. Thousands are still without power after that severe storm moved through parts of the state. The storm uprooted trees, brought down power lines, and caused power outages throughout the area. The storms were a part of a severe weather that threatened states including Oklahoma, Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, Arkansas, and Kentucky.
Happening today in Ocean City, the town will look at proposed changes to public transportation. This is all tied into its budget talks. According to the Transportation Committee, fewer people have been taking the bus in town. Reasons being cited are the lack of bus drivers and longer wait times, which is why the Ocean City Council plans to give an extra $1.5 million to the Transportation Committee, with some of that money being used to hire more bus drivers. We went to Ocean City to learn what people who live there think about this use of extra money, and here is what one person told us.
Lots and lots of people use it in the summertime, and we definitely need to keep that going and, you know, be able to hire more drivers. You do have to keep up with the times and keep the pay, you know, competitive.
That extra money for the Transportation Committee is expected to be reviewed at this afternoon's council meeting.
Also on Delmarva, Bridgeville is another community set to review its budget. According to the town, officials will host a workshop to discuss fiscal year 2026. Also at that workshop, the town will draft its comprehensive plan for the 2025 goals. This event will take place tonight at 5 p.m. at the Bridgeville Public Library. And up next on Coast TV News Today, Coastal Cleanup will tell you when Beach Heroes organization will start their work along the coast. Don't go anywhere.
Now on Coast TV News.
It's a code red first alert Monday evening for Delmarva. Severe weather is possible. I'll talk impacts and timing coming up.
Savannah Road study with businesses and new developments along a main way into Lewis. Are more parking bans in store?
Deadline on home dollars, what property owners in Sussex County need to know and what could be their final chance to appeal the latest assessment.
Tacking on time, the new and longer day in the Indian River School District that begins today.
This is Coast TV News Today.
March 31st, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
Time is 5:29, and we are about to put the month of March behind us.
That is crazy. I can't believe that March is coming to, but we're closer to summer.
And we're closer to your birthday. I thought that's where you were going to go with this. I'm constantly reminded of this fact
during the break. My mom is so mad at me. I don't care about my birthday. Oh. She's like, do you want? I'm like, no, I never really
All I can say is if you don't care, why do you constantly bring it?
Because you mentioned that a certain team that you root for is playing on that date.
Okay,
so that was why I threw it out there.
I think we've all level set Bob. So what I'm hearing, Bob, we don't need to get her a present or anything on her birthday.
Well, I don't know. Now I feel like the pressure is on, like I might have to step up and get Elisa a gift for her birthday. And I hope the weather will cooperate for your birthday. I just have to know when it is, but I'll work on it for sure. We're looking at temperatures that are mild this morning. 64 in Salisbury, Georgetown, Redden 64, 65 in Delmar, 58 in Ocean City. Even the beaches are mild. 64 Bethany Beach and Rehoboth right now. As we're looking at southwesterly winds, they're gusty, 30 miles per hour in Salisbury, close to that in Ocean City, gusting to 19 in Millsboro. So it's going to be a breezy day. It's cloudy or mostly cloudy across Sussex County. We do have some showers across the eastern shore from eastern to Ruthsburg. These are not severe. The severe threat comes tonight. These are run-of-the-mill garden variety showers for the eastern shore back into eastern Virginia. As they slide to the east, make sure you have your umbrella handy for that. But the main event is farther back to the west near a cold front. You can see this line of showers and storms from Pennsylvania into western Tennessee. Not too strong now, but as this front gets closer to us this evening, that's when we have that risk of severe weather. We're at a level 2 risk of seeing severe weather all across Delmarva. I think the main threat will be damaging winds and maybe an isolated tornado. More on that coming up a little bit later on. But here's Futurecast keeping us breezy with some showers this morning and temperatures once again mild by noon into the 70s. Inland cooler for the coast, and it will be breezy as well. A lot of places flirting with 80 degrees inland areas, but cooler at the beaches. Dinner hour, we're dry. Then after about 8 p.m., we have to watch to the west for that rough weather building in with the potential for severe weather. But no worries for the kiddos this morning as far as severe weather, but maybe an umbrella for a few showers. 64 will be breezy as well. You'll have to hang on to that umbrella, and then heading home breezy and mild and 77 degrees.
Bob, our top story this half hour, one debated development gets another hearing in front of Lewis officials. The Overfall Preserve plans call for 90 townhomes off of Savannah Road. The Lewis Planning Commission granted approval in January for the preliminary site plan, but with 25 conditions attached. Some people in Lewis have worries about those plans.
The lack of services that we have now, the medical, the dental, we've just been overrun by people.
From over the past few months, there's about 60 pages of public comments on this land, most of them opposing the idea. The next public hearing is this evening at 5:30.
So we now get a live look at the canal in Lewis, and if you drive in this area, you know that Savannah Road, that's a key road over that waterway. And now the city is looking to learn more about its traffic. Lewis officials are considering paying for a study with DelDOT to look at safety issues there. Back in January, the Lewis City Council, they passed an ordinance to ban parking on part of Savannah Road, claiming it was needed for bike safety. According to Lewis officials, this new study won't be just about parking. It would take a bigger look at safety as a whole.
Something needs to be done. I don't know what it is, but something they need to investigate and find out. Well, there's a lot more bikers than there used to be, you know, and just tremendous amount of traffic.
City says they should a study that could also extend to Dutchman's Harvest and Overfall Preserve.
Happening today, an important deadline is here for homeowners in Sussex County. Reassessment is finishing up across the county, and today is the final day to appeal your newly reassessed values. We spoke with homeowners in Laurel about this process, which drew some mixed opinions.
I think the appeal process could be, it's murky at best. The letter I got, like I said, was pretty much good luck getting us changed.
I'm sure that the appeal process will work very, very well. Yeah, very honestly, I think the county is doing very well.
It's important to note, according to the county, that entire process can be done online.
We have an update on security rules for the Chincoteague Pony Swim to tell you about. The town is announcing the rules ahead of the 100th anniversary, and according to Chincoteague officials, coolers, umbrellas, and glass containers, they are no longer allowed at the event. Bags and backpacks are also banned unless they're clear. Chincoteague Pony Swim, that takes place July 30th.
Starting today, students in the Indian River School District will spend a little extra time in the classroom. The district is adding 20 minutes to each school day to make up for time lost due to bad weather. The school day will be extended until the end of the school year.
Now we're going to take a live look at Washington, D.C. Ahead this week, new tariffs. There's also a focus on some elections taking place with millions of dollars being poured in for both Democrat and Republican candidates. President Trump also expecting some strong criticism for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us all of this and how those new tariffs set to go into effect Wednesday could impact some of the world's major industries.
President Trump returning to Washington for a busy week with his massive reciprocal tariff plan set to roll out on Wednesday against all trading partners.
You'd start with all countries.
grabbing headlines first by not ruling out potentially seeking a constitutionally prohibited third term in office, telling NBC's Kristen Welker in an exclusive phone interview, quote, "I'm not joking," and that he thinks there would be methods to pursue it, later saying he's not looking at that.
We have a long way to go before we even think about it.
That as his billionaire advisor Elon Musk is raising legal questions for handing out million-dollar checks to 2 voters at a Wisconsin town hall, where he campaigned for a conservative judge up for election tomorrow in the state's high-stakes Supreme Court race that could lead to redrawing Wisconsin's congressional maps.
Whichever party controls the House, it to a significant degree controls the country, which then steers the course of Western civilization.
Protesters lined up as Democrats accuse Musk, who's poured millions into the race, of trying to buy the seat, though the state Supreme Court chose not to intervene. From frustration in the streets to President Trump voicing anger with Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling NBC News in that phone interview that he was, quote, very angry and pissed off at Putin for criticizing the credibility of Ukrainian President Zelensky's leadership.
You're supposed to be making a deal with him, whether you like him or you don't like him.
President Trump now threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we have a lot more news to get to. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Sandhill safety upgrades will tell you about concerns from locals that could have led to the installation of a new gate at the facility.
Also, Willard walks away from Maryland as the Final Four is set. Terps are looking for a new head coach.
In Turkey Time in Delaware, we'll tell you how Denrick is giving hunters more time to participate this season. Stay with us on Coast TV News Today.
Just about 5:39 on this Monday morning. Spice Brothers Cam in Salisbury. It's a mild one. Look at all that green grass around SU right now. 64. It's been so warm over the weekend, and it's mild this morning. We're looking at mid-60s from Salisbury to Georgetown, Milton 65, cooler 59 in Ocean Pines and 64 in Bethany Beach. Gusty winds about 15 to 30 miles per hour. Will be a breezy day. We are tracking some showers starting to move into Sussex County around Denton, American Corner, Goldsboro. So we are seeing some of those scattered showers stretching farther south too. Just run-of-the-mill showers. The heavier activity is back to the west with the cold front, and that will bring that threat for severe weather as we go into the overnight. Today's checklist: need the umbrella and the raincoat, the warm weather clothes too. Secure the outdoor items before this evening for the potential of things blowing around. Could get damaging winds for sure with some storms. Have your First Alert weather app, good to have for severe weather really anytime. And make sure you have your sunglasses too. And you can get updated on the stormy weather on the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. 443-880-9100 is the number. Sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalas, Federico.
Drivers in Salisbury should plan ahead for an upcoming road closure. The city says starting today, Fairview Lane, which will be closed starting at Sawbuck Lane. This is for a utility installation, and work is expected to last for 2 weeks. And new this morning, Delaware's wild turkey season opens next weekend, but Denrick says some new changes are coming this season, mainly hunting on Sundays. Denrick says for the first time, Sunday turkey hunting has been allowed since the state in 1991. But it's only permitted on private lands and landowner permission and designated state wildlife areas. It's still not allowed at state forests or national wildlife refuges, and the season will run from April 5th to May 10th in Delaware. And happening today, Denrick Mosquito Control will continue applying insecticide. The agency says spraying will take place during daylight hours and in Georgetown and Woodside, also in areas near Ellendale, Felton, and Milton. The product being used poses no unreasonable risk to human life, wildlife, or the environment.
The Final Four is set. The South Regional game on Sunday featured an Auburn team that held the #1 ranking for a good part of the regular season against the Michigan State program that is no stranger to this time of the year. Auburn attempting to get to the Final Four for just the second time in program history. First half, the Tigers' Mike Kelly, he's wide open for three, and he knocks it down. Auburn up 15-8. And then it's Janai Broom from distance. That is good. Tigers are up 33-24 at halftime. We go late second half here. Michigan State, they do make it a little interesting. Jeremy Fears brings the Spartans to within 4 with this three-pointer. And then it was Denver Jones saying, "We're going to San Antonio, folks." Auburn, the top seed in the South region, marches successfully to the Final Four after a 70-64 win. Houston punched their ticket to the Final Four. They had a convincing 69-50 win over Tennessee. It's the Cougars' second Final Four appearance over the past 5 seasons. Going back to the regular season, Houston has now won 17 games in a row. They will face Duke in Saturday's semifinal. Maryland is now in the market for a new head men's basketball coach after Kevin Willard took the Villanova job over the weekend. CBS Sports is reporting that Willard turned down a deal that would have paid him close to $6 million a year to remain in College Park. He led the Terrapins to the NCAA tournament in 2 of his 3 seasons there, including this past week's run to the Sweet 16. And now we have the latest installment of Ovechkin Watch. The Great 8 began Sunday, 6 goals away from breaking the career mark set by the Great One, Wayne Gretzky. If Ovechkin is going to accomplish this ultimate individual achievement this season, time is running out. At the start of Sunday, just 10 games remained. Ovechkin gearing up to move closer to history. We go to the third period, Caps trailing, and there it is, career goal, .890. He is now 5 behind Gretzky. Let's take another look at this one. This goal pulled the Caps to within 2 at 6-4. It was a 1-goal game late in the third, and that's when the Sabres' Mattias Samuelsson scores. The Sabres spoil the fun with an 8-5 win. Ovechkin's next chance to get closer is Tuesday night in Boston. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 6:30, it is Stellar Fight 66, and then catch the final score at 10:30. There's a full lineup of high school lacrosse matchups on the DSM Plus app, all at 4. Bennett boys are home with Kent Island. More boys lacrosse in Delaware when Indian River hosts St. Mark's. Sussex Tech takes on Delcastle. And girls lacrosse, Milford is home with Ursuline.
At a 2019 AFI tribute, Chadwick Boseman thanked Denzel Washington for his support, saying, quote, "There is no Black Panther without Denzel Washington." Well, now it looks as if Washington will appear in that franchise. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
It's a great honor to be honored by him.
Back in November, Denzel Washington said he would play a part in Black Panther 3, which Marvel has yet to announce. Now Ryan Coogler, the director of that series, is confirming that, telling the Nightcap podcast, "I've been dying to work with Denzel, and I've got every intention of working with him on that movie. As long as he's interested, man, it's going to happen."
And then, all hell breaks loose.
Scott Derrickson has a new horror movie on deck. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the director and his writing and producing partner, C. Robert Cargill, are adapting the Christopher Golden novel Road of Bones. It's described as a supernatural thriller set in Siberia.
You better run like a devil's on your tail, like a broke out of jail, like a big storm's coming.
Run, Chet, run. That's Chet Hanks of the country duo Something Out West channeling Forrest Gump in their latest music video, You Better Run. Chet's dad, Tom Hanks, Forrest himself, even makes an appearance on that iconic bus stop bench. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Today marks 30 years since the death of Tejano music icon Selena Quintanilla. The singer made history when she won her first Grammy in 1994 for Best Mexican-American Album, becoming the first female Tejano artist to win in the category. She was just 23 years old when she was killed following year by Yolanda Saldivar, who served as the founder and president of Selena's fan club. Saldivar is serving a life sentence for the 1995 murder, and she was denied parole last week, according to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles.
Weather-wise, a dry and mild start, breezy too for Delmarva, 66 in Dover. It's dry now, but we have that threat for severe weather tonight. After dark, we could see damaging winds and an isolated tornado is possible. We do have a code red. I'll talk about impacts and time it out on Futurecast in your full forecast in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
The time is now 5:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Salisbury this morning. And Bob, it is calm out there, but bad weather is on its way. So everyone needs to scan that QR code that's going to be on the screen in a few to download our First Alert Weather app.
That's important information, Alicia. You definitely want to have that weather app. You can see the QR code on your screen right there. Hover your phone over that and take a picture of it, and then it'll bring a link down. You'll want to have that this evening because that's when we're expecting the bad weather to come, probably after after about 8 p.m. So it's a code red. It's a PM code red for stormy weather this evening. I think we do have the threat for damaging winds. That's the main threat, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. And then we move into Tuesday, and then it's much improved weather. Sunny skies, turns much cooler, pleasant and dry, highs in the 50s. And then Wednesday morning could be into the mid to upper 30s, maybe a little frosty in some places at that time. Far from frosty right now. 64 in Salisbury, in Georgetown, Milton 65, 56 in Ocean City, a little cooler there, but 63 for Bethany Beach and Indian River Inlet. And we're seeing gusty southwesterly winds now around 15 to 30 miles per hour, gusting to 30 in Salisbury, 29 in Ocean City, 24 at Indian River Inlet. So we've got the breezy conditions, mostly cloudy skies. We do have some scattered showers. These are not severe, just kind of run-of-the-mill showers moving into northwest Sussex County up towards the eastern shore right now. You can see they're very spotty, but just have the umbrella just in case. You can see those extend now west of Cambridge. But once again, these are garden variety showers that extend into eastern parts of Virginia. We do have a stronger cold front back to the west. That is responsible for tornadoes yesterday, and now a line of showers and storms from western PA down into the Tennessee Valley as we track this cold front. And as this moves to the east, we do have a lot of shear, and we'll have the heating of the day as we go into this evening to support some of those bigger storms. So Futurecast this morning has some of those showers. Then we're looking at a mix of sun and clouds. It will be another warm day. We'll be looking at mid to upper 70s as we go into the afternoon hours around 3:30, 78 Millsboro and Seaford, 50s and 60s at the coast. And then we go into this evening and we're looking at dry conditions through about 8 p.m. That's good. The front is not moving through during peak heating. It is moving through a little bit later on this evening. However, showers and thunderstorms, some heavy rain definitely possible, and maybe some damaging winds with some of these storms up to about 60 miles per hour. You can see around 1 a.m. how we have a lot of heavier rain around Millsboro back through Seaford and Rehoboth. So we are in drought conditions still, and the ground will be receptive to rain, but definitely some runoff possible and maybe some flooding in poor drainage areas. And then we see some lingering showers around 2 a.m. Then they're gone, and then by tomorrow morning we're in the 40s, and tomorrow will be much cooler, sunshine and 50s and breezy conditions, and then turning pretty cold by Wednesday morning. But we are looking at that level 2 risk of severe weather. An isolated spin-up tornado is possible, low chance of hail, a better chance of winds up to 60 miles per hour, so secure those outdoor items, and maybe an isolated flooding event in some poor drainage areas. About a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain, and we have those breezy conditions today up to 30 miles per hour. Could get stronger around some of those thunderstorms this evening, and then breezy and cool as we go into your Tuesday. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast. The PM code red alert for the severe weather, 78 today. And then Tuesday, sunshine, windy and cooler, 58, 57 Wednesday, maybe a touch of frost Wednesday morning, mid to upper 70s Thursday and Friday. It looks like a better chance of showers Friday into the weekend.
Thank you, Bob. Here's a look at some of the intense weather already experienced in the U.S. Southwest Michigan was rocked by a band of storms over the weekend, leaving behind a path of damage. A massive line of storms marched across Michigan late Sunday afternoon, producing damaging winds, topping 95 miles per hour. As you saw, several trees took down power lines, some even falling onto homes.
Developing news in Georgetown, where a new gate was installed last week at Sand Hill Field's parking lot near Murray's Lane. According to a Facebook post by Georgetown Mayor Bill West, the gates will close every night at 8 p.m., and the size of this lot can hold only about a dozen cars. CoastTV reached out to Sand Hill to see what was going on and why this was needed, and while we did not hear back from them, we did get the chance to speak with people who live nearby and use the trail. We heard concern over people entering the lot for what was described as inappropriate behavior.
I think it's good for safety reasons. Like, I mean, you just never know, especially if you bring kids out here, like if anyone's going to be lurking around, especially late at night. So it's definitely good to have some kind of safety precautions established here just for everyone.
And according to Mayor West, that game aims to address safety concerns.
You may remember in August there was a break-in at that complex. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment was stolen from the community garage, and following that break-in in October 2024, Sand Hill Fields installed 17 new security cameras around the property.
Starting to see daylight now on the Gateway Subaru Cam in Ocean City. We're going to see clouds, breezy, mild conditions today, some morning showers, then a threat for severe weather tonight with a code red, then cooler for a couple days, and then warming up late week, maybe another chance of rain into the weekend. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next.
It is 5:56, so it's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day is showing us his personality in this video on your screen. Check out this cutie here. We actually have video. We usually just get the picture, so I love the fact that we got video. So if you want to, this one was submitted to us by the family in Millsboro.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos or videos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
That way you can scan the QR code to get your friends to Coast TV News and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And it's 5:57, so we're going to take another quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, Bob, you're tracking a big system for later tonight.
Yeah, I think that's probably after 8 p.m., but until then, we're in pretty good shape. It's breezy and mild, a few showers this morning, then a mix of sun and clouds, and a warm southwesterly wind gusting up to about 30 miles per hour and temperature soaring into the upper 70s. And then this evening, that's when we have that code red kicking in for storms, maybe damaging winds. An isolated tornado is possible. Paul Williams will have much more on that, of course, later today. Paul Davis 10-day forecast, much cooler Tuesday and Wednesday, upper 50s. Could be a little frosty Wednesday morning with lows in the 30s. We're back into the 70s Thursday and Friday, and maybe some showers Friday into the weekend. Cooler Saturday, 64 with a few showers, a few more showers Sunday, and then the cool weather's not done with us as we head into next week.
Thank you, Bob. And coming up in our next hour, traffic study debate. City of Lewis is recommending one for this part of Savannah Road, why one law firm says it's not necessary. That and more when Coast TV News Today continues.